What's up, everybody? Just building some rods here this morning. Hanging out. Everybody been fishing, I guess. Yes, I'm drinking. You drinking already? Fishing been good down there, Steve? Putting my decals on the rods. Getting these things ready. Got a couple hundred of these things going in stores here soon, next week or two. We're just kind of finishing up for the year. You can see that's our little logo. And move up here. Slow pick, but it's going. Yep, the weather. It's been something, ain't it? Can't make up its mind if it wants to get warm or not. I think Thursday it's supposed to be in the 70s again. Jeez. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? You guys kind of see what I'm doing here. It's pretty bad. I have all these measurements for my rods in my mind. I don't even need to look anymore. I just kind of know for each rod what the measurement should be so that they're all the same. Yeah, man, all these rods I'm working on today. Came back from my helper last week. He wraps the tops of them for me, and then I do the design work, the inlays and the decals and stuff on the back end and finish them up, and then we'll put finish on them. You can hear the dryer going up there. It's just a constant process that we always have. Anywhere from 20 to 30 rods on the dryers, and you see all the ones behind me we got to wrap up today. So that's what we're doing. Every day we get more ready, and every day more finished. Earlier this week we sent out, one day we sent out customers' orders, because we always take in customer orders, and we try to keep up with them and keep up with our line of rods. Sent 4 out to 10 Monday, and Sean bought 6, and a couple of single orders went out. Always busy here at the shop. Anybody has any questions, you can put them up. I'll try to answer them, but I do have to pay attention. So I have to count how many wraps I do. Keep everything even. Putting in our little fade. We do a little fade in front of our reel seats. These here are Premier Series rods. Our blanks. We do not make our blanks, but we have them made here in the United States. We're one of the few rod companies that do that. We don't buy Chinese blanks. They're all graphite, super lightweight. And these are the Premier Series would be the mid modulus. Very sensitive and durable, great inshore fishing rods. We use all Fuji products because we definitely feel they're the best. It does drive the cost of the rod up a little bit, but in the end game, it's worth it. Buy once, cry once. Dink stick, yeah. So keeper's not wanting to cooperate. Give him a little motivation there. I've been talking about going live building for a while, and I just haven't done it. And just sitting here this morning, and all my podcasts were done. I'm tired of listening to the news. I hate this. It's so depressing. I figured I'd go live and see if anybody was at work or home today and wanted to hang out for a while, maybe talk fishing, talk about fishing rods. Terry, yes, all American made. The only parts that we buy that aren't American made are our Fuji parts, and unfortunately, there is no American company that makes fishing rod guides. I don't think the Real Seats either, or else we would probably use them. But everything else is Cork's made in Portugal, or it's grown in Portugal. But we try to source everything and do everything. A lot of rod companies like myself, even some of the small batch rod companies that you may see down south, a lot of them buy their stuff. So they'll buy their rod they'll source it from China. And a lot of times, like, the handle comes in put together already, and they just might build out the end of the blank or put their decals on or do their screen printing on the blank or whatever. We don't do that. I start with a raw blank. We build everything here. All of our cork and all is hand reamed, and then we glue everything up to our specifications and put it all together. So it's a long process, but it's worth it, and we think our customers really like our rods. So what could be more fun than watching you wrap thread on sticks? When you coming up again, Craig? I ain't seen you in a while, bud. I bet you've been fishing. You see my hook keeper, they didn't want to cooperate, so I gave her a little bit of persuasion there with that little piece of tape. What's up, Bill? How are you doing, bud? How's your ice rod building been going? Just living a dream. It's going. I haven't pulled all my hair. Yeah, well, I can't imagine what it's like working on those little things. Good Lord. It's like every guide is like wrapping your tip, the tip of any other rod. Like a wet noodle. You see, these are all my rod labels here. I printed them out ahead of time. I'll just sit here and trim them up, put them on. There are rod specs. Today we're working on our 6'6" 662s, the medium extra fast rod. For those of you not in the Chesapeake area, this is what the guys here use to light tackle jig for stripers. Some guys also like this blank in a little bit longer version for speckled trout, puppy drum. Which I have a feeling that's going to be a big rod for us to start selling. The puppy drum and the speckled trout bite here in the Chesapeake seems to be really getting good. A lot of people are out targeting them. Keep saying every year I'm going to try to get into screen printing my rods so I don't have to do all this. It's such a big, it's an investment and it's a whole new procedure to go through. So I haven't done it yet, but hopefully this year I can look into getting that done. I'm just putting in my inlays here. It's a little decoration. Turn this a little bit so you can see. show you guys how I put a guide on if you guys want to see that. I have to move some stuff here. And I'm on Facebook Live and Instagram, so kind of got two devices going at once. And I got piles of guides and in my little box here. You can see this is how many are just of this model. So we've already gone through about 400 this year. Well, that would be 400, so 300 we've gone through. We're trying to build up our inventory, plus get the stores all stocked up and get our website back up. We want to start being able to offer rods off of our website again. When COVID hit, I had to take all that down because just getting parts and stuff was so hard. I couldn't, I didn't want to sell stuff that I didn't have. So I just preferred that people call and order. The way I could tell them how long it was going to be or if I had it. And so I got my guide on, and I have a mark here that tells me where we pre-mark all of our rods. So you guys on Facebook can't see it. And I just line up the front of the guide to that mark, tape it down. Some people like to they use like a temporary glue. I just tape it. You go through asinine amounts of tape, but I've always got freaking tape everywhere, stuck to my clothes and shit. I get a couple turns, and then I'm going to go right up the guide foot. Right to there. Take my first band of tape off. Just keep on rolling right up the blank. Stop right about there. Get some of my silver off the roll here. Now I'm going to put our inlay in. That's right where I want to be. Gotta put my inlay right in the center with the guide and the wrap. I like to do a triple inlay on my guides on my bigger spaces. I'll do a casting rod next so you guys can see that. It's a little different, a little tricky. Double foot guide. Fill. Turn the tape off. There it is. And that rod is ready. We'll align the guides later today once we get a whole bunch of them. You see we did the inlay there. And then later today we'll align the guides when we get a whole bunch of them. And then we will put finish on. We usually do finish in the mornings and the evenings, so we'll start in the morning with our. Each rod will take anywhere from 2 to 3 coats, sometimes 4 if we have a touch up. So in the morning, we'll do the ones that we already have on the dryers, and then we'll build, and then we align guides once we have a bunch of rods built, and usually in the late afternoon, early evening, then we'll put finish on the new rods. And that's why we've always got rods in every stage. They're being built, and then like if I have an order come in that day or whatever, then that order gets started. I'll glue up the handles and all that kind of stuff. So this is kind of how we do it. I'm not really sure how other people do it. I'm going to go ahead and put this double foot guide on. You see, this is a casting rod. So it's a double foot guide. And then I got my mark. See it there? My mark. And I try to keep the guides as straight as I can, so I don't have to do as much straightening at the end, but you can never get them. They always have to be straightened at the end. All right, so we're going to wrap a double foot guide on a casting rod here. It's basically the same as before. I just need to adjust my tension a little. Since our double foot guides, obviously, they don't have as big a feet, then I don't do the triple bands in there. I used to do them, but it's so much time. It's not worth it. We just do a single band in this one, trim band, inlay, whatever you want to call them. If you guys wonder why I don't have to measure, it's because I do this so much. Like I kind of know like the spot on each guide where I need to put my inlay in. If you do thousands of these stupid things, you know. So I don't want to cover up my mark, that little white China mark there. So we'll remove that now. We don't need it anymore anyway. And we'll just reverse the process on the front. This is a very tedious process, and it gets so boring doing this all day long. Usually try to listen to like a fishing podcast or something to pass the time. And about every hour or so, I usually stand up, take a break, go to the bathroom, get a drink, something like that. Just because it does kind of hurt my back a little bit to hunch over this bench all day long. And there you go. There's a casting rod guide. All done. And then we'll move back down here. Finish up the butt of the rod. Let you guys see how I do that. Other than speed, is there an advantage to the power wrapper versus hand wrapping? I mean, yeah. So like if you really want to do like the weaves and even like those inlays, it makes it a lot easier because you don't need one hand free to turn the blank. You can work and use your foot. And then of course it is faster. I mean, I think pretty much everybody like at first you might start out like hand wrapping, and then pretty much everybody goes to a power wrapper. It just frees up your hands to do the work a lot more. It also holds tension on the blank. So like you can see like here, I'm wrapping the string around the thread. Like everything's in place and secure. I can like move, and it keeps the, it stays where I put it because it's belt driven. So like for me anymore, like if I tried to wrap a rod, it would just be so tedious to me because I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is killing me to go this slow. But I will tell you this, Bill. If you decide to get a power wrapper, don't start out with that one from Mudhole. It's not that good. Go to Get Bit Outdoors and get the it's the Alps rod wrapper with the upgraded chuck. I bought because like what we do is like I have a person or two that'll help me. Like I said, they wrap the upper side of the rods. It saves us time. We pay them to do that, and then I do the fancy work and the decals at the back. So like when I started doing that, like I was like, I'm not going to spend a ton on a rod wrapper just for a subcontractor basically. And the chucks aren't. It's just not as good a quality. It's not that much more to get the Alps, so I would definitely get the Alps if you're gonna do this. There's a rod wrapper route, and now like it's like anything else. Like it's gonna take you. It's gonna take you a couple of rods to get the hang of it and get to where you like it. Like even at first, like I didn't really like the power wrapper, and it took me a while. The other advantage to the power wrapper is they work really good for finish, for putting your finish on. The faster you can spin that rod, the quicker you can finish, and also the more sharp that your line will be. So definitely having a high speed turn, like this is how fast I literally finish that at that speed. That's how fast I turn the rod when I put finish on. And you can cut your line right in real nice. And just trying to get our hook keeper right where I want it. I like when our rods are on the rack for like everything to be in line, like the decals are on line, the hook keepers in line, the guides are in line. I like them to look nice and uniform and perfect. That way, when somebody buys a rod, they know that every time they're getting the same one. Now I've also learned that there's definitely proper placement of a hook keeper as well, and especially on like a spinning rod, and even on these casting rods. For one, you don't want your line to slap against them on a spinning reel, and you don't want it too close on a spinning or a casting that the angler's, if his fingers are up here, it's hitting it, so it's not comfortable. So we kind of have a measurement that I like to use, and seems to work for us. We don't get too many complaints on the hook keepers anymore. It's definitely something that seems so minute, but took us a while to get back when we first started building to figure out where we wanted to put the hook keepers. No problem, Bill. Hope it helps. So even though we mostly do our line of rods, we still are doing customs. And I mean, I'll probably never get away from it, but customers call, and it could be anything as simple as just they want the rod like our 703, and they want it just in their color or their name on it, and we do that, or we do wild and crazy custom stuff once in a while. Carbon fiber handles, that's something a lot of people likes, the carbon fiber. How long this has been going? Hi, Trip. How are you? Bill. Yes, I have used the soft touch carbon fiber from NFC, and um, they are very nice handles. Um, the reason why I don't use them more is because it seems like everything from NFC takes such a long time to come. I think they're Gary Loomis blanks, so obviously they're very nice. Um, but I've heard like horror stories of stuff taking like this was before COVID, and stuff was taking like 4 months, 6 months, like for just like a single rod blank. A guy would order a rod blank, and that's my experience with them was um, I have a customer that likes us. They're shit. What's the name of that blank? They're from New Zealand. I can't remember the name of the blanks anymore, but he gets these blanks from New Zealand. They're really nice blanks, and he has them imported, and then he has me build them for him. And they were coming with samples of them, and that was my experience with them. So, but they were very nice. If you can get your hands on them, yeah, definitely. Trip, how you doing, buddy? I ain't talked to you in a while. I hope things have been well. I have to give you a ring sometime. I got some stuff to talk to you about. Down here, we will finish up the backhand side of our rod. Trying to time this. I don't know how long. Oh, 45 minutes. So I can usually do, I guess it's taking me a little longer because of being on live, but I can usually do 2 full rods in about 40 minutes. The back ends, not all of the guides. All of the guides I can do, probably take me a little over an hour to do 2. That is why we hire friends to help wrap for us, and they do all of our single color work going up the end of the rod. And that's not uncommon though. Like St. Croix, they hire people in their community and give them rod wrappers, and a lot of rod companies do that. I know G Loomis that does it. And these inlays take forever. That's why if you ever notice, like G Loomis rods, they use all one color. St. Croix, they just put like a single trim band in. A lot of people nowadays, they don't like, even the ones that want custom rods, like they don't really want a lot of flash. They just want that quality. So it's not a huge deal to most anglers. I think this is probably going to be the last year that we're going to do the black and silver on our Premier series. Just kind of getting tired of it. I'm going to change it up. I'm not really sure yet what colors I'm going to go with next year. But I'm going to change it up a little bit, do something a little different. But like, that's kind of just what we do at JLS. We took all the advantages of a custom rod and put it into a rod that you can walk into a store or go to our website and order it, and we can ship it the next day. We use good quality components, the best in my opinion. Fuji. All of our guide trains are static loaded to the blanks. And then in addition, like our guide trains they're set up for like on our 662, we recommend on our spinning rod that you use a 2500 or 3000 series reel for that, and the guides are appropriately sized according to Fuji's recommendations, and then we do use concept guide spacing. So that they cast the best. And the static loading was a big thing for me. I think it allows you to get the most out of your blank. It allows you to get the most out of the blank because it gives you more points of contact. So it makes everything stronger, and you're not putting as much stress on fewer points of the blank. So when your blank is under load, you're stressing it more equally throughout the blank and using the blank's power to its maximum ability. And what a lot of companies done, like the big name rod companies, they're trying to hit price points, obviously, so they use less guides. They don't static load them. They're not using concept guide spacing or anything like that. So that's kind of one of the things that we think makes our niche at JLS. I'm just going to put the decal on the split grip here. I use that little piece of tape to mark my spot. And there you go. There's finished up JLS 6'6" medium extra fast casting rod. Does anybody else have any questions? Me, you guys have been fishing. How's that new dryer? It's really good, Mike. I had to. I'll show you the next time you come over. I had to. We had to drill holes in it. It was the biggest one that he's ever built. So the problem with it is there was a lot of weight on the shaft. So I was able to take 3-inch. We took 3-inch holes out all the way around to lighten it up, and then I actually painted it and put our logo and stuff on it. So it looks really cool now. I really like it. I can't wait for you to see it. Mike helps me wrap rods. He's one of the guys that helps me out with that when I need help. So thank you, Mike. Trim this up a little bit here. Sometimes you'll get like a little, even though you clean it up when you glue your butts on, you'll get like a little stuff in there. Trim it out. Just keeps it from catching on the thread. Makes it look neater. No, Mike, it didn't spin too fast. But yeah, we'll be getting some more. I'm waiting on a order of blanks and then those specialty rods that we're gonna do. The dang reel seats are on back order, so it's gonna be another week or two before they come. But yep, next week we'll be starting a whole new batch. Sorry, guys. I'll turn it so you can see. What's up, Captain Woo Woo? How are you doing today? Lunchtime. Are you fishing today? You tying jigs? What are you doing today, Mike? Work then, jigs. Oh, this one doesn't want my. What blank? This is the 662 medium extra fast. All the blanks we're working on today will be those. We have started building some of our 704s for this year, but well, our 703s are done for stores, and we have extra for stock. We never stop building 662s. We sell so many of them. And then we have some 704s that will be going in the stores in April, and then more in June, ready for the red drum and cobia, things like that people like to use them for. We'll also probably have a couple of 7106s out there for guys that like something a little heavier for cobia. And then, of course, we have that new 7 power this year, and we can do our 704, our 7106, and that 7 power, the rod we call the 7 power. We can do them in split or full grip. Actually, the 7 power only comes in full grip. The 7106, the 704 can be split or full. So the full grip works real nice for guys that like cobia chumming and stuff like that. Or, some people just don't like the split grip. The rod holders can get in the way of that. Then, of course, we got our tarpon rod. And our ever popular Light and Mighty, which is our panfish rod. Actually, I just put finish on a custom one this morning for a customer, but we sell a good many of them. I never imagined I'd sell that many panfish rods, being light power rods, being a light tackle fishing rod company, but we do. They're very popular. A lot of guys even like them for speckled trout. They got a real good action to them. Can cast light lures a hell of a way. But yeah, still got plenty of backbone. Chesapeake Charlie, Brad Foxwell's son, he actually caught 2 stripers over 40 inches on that light power rod. He wasn't really targeting them, I don't think, but they happened to be out fishing that day and somehow got into a little pod of big fish. So that was pretty cool, and that's pretty good testament for a light power rod. Catch 2 40-inch stripers. It handles slot rods. Yeah, Mike. Yeah. The guys down there in Southern Maryland and Virginia are definitely using them for. I know Trip Seed likes them for specs and slot reds also. Captain Tripp down there at Bay Romer Charters. I don't know if he's still on. He was watching a little while ago on Facebook. So, those of you on Great for Walleye, List just goes on. Yeah. That's why we stopped calling it the panfish rod and we named it the Light and Mighty, because it's a workhorse. It does a lot. On those occasions where you hook into something that you're maybe not expecting to, it's always handled it really well. And I mean, at $130 for, you know, St. Croix charges 130 or 45 for their ultralight panfish rod, you know. So, geez, at $130, it's a great deal for a premium rod. That you can do everything from schoolie stripers, slot reds, speckled trout, white perch, whatever you want. Shad, they're real good for shad. Those of you that like to catch the shad and the shad run in the spring, they're really fun. And like sometimes if you're using those shad darts and you get two and you got like two 5-pound fish on or something, you know, big shad, or even a 3-pound shad, you know, you need a rod that can handle that. You don't want a ultralight buggy whip for that, and that rod there like really excels in that. I'm gonna move over so you guys can watch me wrap this guide. I know Dan Kilroy, he likes to use them panfish rods a lot down there for tarpon. Why are you so tired, bro? Because I don't sleep, bud. I work all night, and then I sleep like 5 or 6 hours, and then I build fishing rods, and then do it all again. That's my life. Yeah. Well, where you live, yeah, 20 to 40 pound is a dink stick. If you guys aren't following Dan, you guys should go on Instagram. Go give him a follow. Dan's down in Florida. Does a lot of tarpon fishing, big snook fishing, grouper fishing. He uses our rods a lot. I just actually was down to visit him a week or two ago. So if you guys ever hear a rod builder talk about, they do like, you know, inlays or fancy wraps, and they talk about the dirty side. I don't have a dirty side. Right there is where my band started and stopped, and you can't tell. I've learned over the years how to make those threads line up to where it just looks continuous. It's one of the things that the average customer probably wouldn't look at or care about, but if you're a rod builder, you know what the dirty side is, and we don't have one. All right, guys. So I just wrapped up 3 rods there. I think I'm going to take a little break, but thank everybody for joining me today. If you have any questions or anything, shoot me a message. Be happy to answer it, and be looking for us more. I'll try to do some more of these when I think about it. I don't know what made me think about doing it this morning. But have a good week, and I hope everybody gets out there and goes and does a little fishing. And catch you guys later. See you guys later. Thanks for joining in today.